Hey, Sunwolf fans, Brad Denny with 3TV, CBS 5, and the Speak of the Devils podcast here, bringing you another episode of the Speak of the Devils Sitdown series, where I bring you in-depth one-on-one conversations with key players, coaches, and other figures within Sun Devil athletics. 2024 was a frustrating season for Xavier Guillory. Battling injuries, the transfer wideout just never really could get going along in his debut season as a Sun Devil. But overcoming obstacles is nothing new to him, and he's now healthy, locked, and loaded, and ready to bounce back this fall. Taking a different path than many other Native American athletes, Xavier found immediate success on the gridiron. However, his path to major college football took some time, and he put some hard work in for a few years at the FCS level at Idaho State before becoming a Sun Devil last fall. Now, with one season left to play, he hopes to find that level of success that propels ASU to some victories, but also becoming an example for other Native athletes to follow. On this episode, we discuss his journey, carrying on his late father's legacy, forging a path for other Native American athletes, the loaded 2024 Sun Devil wide receiver room, and so much more. So let's get to it. Here's my conversation with Xavier Guillory. All right, so I want to start things off. Of course, the big question: how's the injury coming along? It was kind of good to see you getting more active as spring ball went along.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's been 100% for about a month and a half. We just had to give it time to heal. If I really wanted to, we could have played spring ball, but they wanted to, give me time to fully get back to football health, not just health in general. So they were really cautious about everything because they want me for the fall, not the spring. But it was good to get some reps in towards the end, just to show that I can still run the same, get in and out of breaks and everything stuff. So it was really good to get back.
Yeah, certainly, definitely looked explosive out there. Those reps that you did get, especially with the new offensive coordinator, kind of learning the ropes of what Coach Arroyo wants to do. How valuable was that for you to be able to, during the back half of spring, to just get out there on the field and be running routes?
It just felt amazing, bro. Like when you're out I was out half the season. It felt good just to get back and run routes, especially in the Royals offense. We're throwing the ball a lot and stuff. So you're getting a lot of one-on-ones, winning in man. So it just felt good just to get back into playing that true receiver position again. And, you learn to appreciate when the game gets taken for you for a while, you appreciate the little things and just even the drills, the pre-practice warm-ups, everything, all the way down to the last period when it's 100 degrees out and stuff. So you learn to appreciate that again. And it was really fun to get back and put on that helmet again.
So before we dive into your journey, you got to talk about one of the hot topics in college football right now. The video game's coming out. What do you think your rating's going to be in the game?
And I hope it doesn't matter what it's going to be. I'm going to personally adjust it to 99 like I always did. But hopefully somewhere by the end of the season in the 90s, or I feel like the initial one probably they always do it pretty low, especially if you're kind of up and coming and stuff. So, but no matter what it's going to be, I'm a go in there and adjust it myself.
So is that something that the guys in the locker room are already kind of chirping about?
Oh, yeah.
Getting kind of friendly rivalries going?
Oh, yeah. Like, man, I've been playing that game since I was, 12, 13. Like, I was obsessed with that game growing up. So it's really a blessing just to be able to, say I was in it on its, 10-year release after it was kind of canceled. So it's going to be fun. Being in that game, seeing myself in a video game for the first time.
With the guys kind of starting to come back to school and getting the start of the kind of the summer workouts going, in the kind of this post spring window, how do you think the vibe is right now? You got some of the new guys, some of the newer faces that weren't there in the spring now coming along as well. How do you think things are coming along in terms of kind of the overall team vibe?
Yeah, it's the standard is the standard here. We do the same. We all kind of just. We come in, we know, okay, we had a good break. Everybody, I don't know what everybody did, but now we're back. Now it's back to, getting working and, like Coach said, have fun, work, being the hardest working team in the country. So we got guys coming in, even the new guys that were after our post lift, nobody really goes to the locker room. We go straight to the field and do extra work. And nobody's really on campus in terms of the students. So we got time just to spend time with each other and, do things off the field and stuff. So the vibes are good right now, heading into the season. we're kind of catching up all the new guys into what we're all about, and kind of doing it by example. And I think I'm liking what I'm seeing from each position group on the team and how we're kind of attacking this off-season or this summer training session.
Coming in as a transfer a season ago, what did you learn from those experiences, kind of adjusting to a new program that perhaps you're passing on this year to some of the new guys and new faces in Tempe?
Yeah, so like when I transferred, it was you do have to get adjusted a little bit to, I was at Idaho State for 3 years, so you do have to get adjusted to the team aspect and new aspect of coaching staff or team and everything and stuff. So you really don't know until you get to the season and everything. So really just keeping your head down and keeping the main thing. I came from a really small school, so when you get these new things that kind of come into your life, you got to be ready to handle them, and especially when you go up a level. For any guy that may be transferring who wasn't a starter at their old school or was at a smaller school beforehand, when you're coming here, you get a great chance to play big games every week, and it's just something you got to be ready for mentally, and keep the main thing, and just work hard each and every day, and just keep a humble attitude, which I definitely learned this past year and this off season going into this next this upcoming season.
Of course, during spring ball, there was a bit of a change with the wide receivers with the position group. Head coach Rashad Samples off to Oregon, but a guy with a pretty good football resume in his own right, and Hines Ward coming in. What's it like just working with a guy who has a couple rings and has a Super Bowl MVP on his resume?
So with him, when he talks, you listen, just because it's pretty cool just to learn from a guy that's really done it. And we all wish to have a career like him one day. So when he actually says something, you're kind of like, oh, okay, no, he means it because he went through it. And then actually, it really has some substance behind it. So we're in the film room. It's pretty cool just to be, coached by somebody that's had a career that any college athlete right now would want, in a Hall of Fame, Super Bowl MVP, all that stuff. I can go on and stuff, but it's something that I think we all are happy with and want to go forward in that, and just I think it was a good, it was a great hire and stuff. So I'm excited to work with him. It's gonna be fun moving forward.
Of course, one of his calling cards, in addition to putting up all those yards and catches, was being the best blocking wide receiver in the NFL. What's that mentality like now with this wide receiver room that just kind of embrace and doing the dirty work?
It's really just being unselfish, man. Because especially with the receiver position, we get a lot of stigmatism about being selfish, and we're all capable blockers. You don't have to be big, fast, or strong to be a good blocker. It's literally just that will to go put a hat on a hat and block for a running back or a tight end. And those guys been blocking for you all game for you to get open. So when it's your turn to do it for them, it's definitely something that you should do. And it starts in practice, really just, it's an effort thing, but it's also a rep thing, just getting that mentality down of, even if it's practice, like really not trying to kill somebody, but, putting hands on somebody and just repping it out, or going downfield, getting that downfield block and stuff. So that mentality is everything. And, I know Coach likes to say no block, no rock. So if you're not blocking, you're not going to get the ball. So I think that's something that every receiver in this room is capable of doing. And we've showed it in practice multiple times and stuff. So there's no excuses that you shouldn't be able to block. So it's a great mentality to have, and in that return, the ball finds energy. So if you're really blocking your tail off, that ball's gonna find you.
Now, going back to last year, when you're making that jump up from the FCS level to the Power 5, for you, what were some of the biggest adjustments that you had to make to kind of get in the flow of things at the highest level of college football?
It was really just the rhythm of the team aspect. We had so many injuries last year, and just getting used to the guys on a team, how they played, and I would say that was probably the biggest adjustment from having 2,000 fans at my game at Idaho State to 60,000 and stuff. So just like I said, keeping the main thing, and I think that was the biggest adjustment for me, was just to focus on um, the little things and not getting um, you know you know focus on any other external factor. Just focus on ball, and um, I'd say that's probably the biggest adjustment from a guy that's jumping up that level. And last year was what it was, but we're kind of learning from the past, and we got a really healthy team. We're all kind of obviously going healthy into the season and stuff, so ready to just go attack that with the same mentality that same drive that I have, just with a different, more experienced mentality going in.
And when you look back at how you performed last season, of course, battling some injuries along the way kind of, hampered that effort. You and so many other teammates, unfortunately. What was your kind of overall evaluation of when you were able to be out there on the field, of how you performed?
I was pretty, there was a lot of moments that I felt like I did make some plays, but obviously there was some times where I wish, you could have them back. I wasn't, obviously, with the totality of the season, with the injuries, and when I was healthy, it was like something I wish, obviously, I could have gotten back. Wish last year could have happened. But that's football. You never really know, especially at the receiver position. You really have to, you know, uh, you know, sometimes you have to wait your turn and stuff. So for you to blow up, and you see it all over where guys, just need, a team just kind of needs an adjustment, and then for me, just needed some time just to get with this offense. And now that I kind of understand that, one, the speed of the game and the timing of what Coach Dillingham wants to do and everything, just kind of becoming a more smart, like a more mature and higher IQ wide receiver is something that I definitely learned from last season. But definitely learned from last season is something I had at Idaho State, where didn't have the year that you want, but the very next year you kind of keep pushing on, keep chopping wood, carrying water. Everything will kind of take care of itself in that sense. And, that's something I really wanted to do, and put the Lord first and work hard. That's something I'm kind of making my whole foundation on.
And of course, it was a difficult season, across the board, and just the team wasn't able to get to where it wanted to be for a number of reasons. But, there were some really good moments as well, kind of sprinkled in it as well. Year one as a Sun Devil, what were some of your favorite moments?
Obviously, like I'd say the first time running out in that tunnel was pretty cool. Just playing in the Sun Devil Stadium was awesome, and then the win against Washington State was big, because I'm from Washington, and I had a lot of teammates that were on WSU's or old teammates that were on WSU's team, and old friends and stuff. And then just seeing them, seeing the team go. I wasn't able to play this game, but seeing the team go down to UCLA, and with the injuries that we had, and still be able to pull that off. I was only watching it on live stream, but it was still really cool to see those guys win that game. I wish I could have been a part of it, but that was something that I was really happy with. But there was a lot of other moments too, like playing against Colorado, seeing being in that kind of atmosphere, or even going back home to UW, Washington, seeing and playing in that environment was just awesome. So the whole year was just kind of just like that little kid in me that wanted to play on that level for so long, and finally being able to see it and be a part of it was pretty cool.
Of course, in a year full of adversity, so much of it kind of external, beyond the players' or coaches' control. How did you see Coach Dillingham kind of, as a first-year head coach, kind of navigate such rough waters and try to keep things together?
With Coach Dillingham, he's like really wise beyond his years. It seems like he's been in this game, in this head coaching game for decades. But with him, it's just that he came in like he didn't get rattled, and he was the same person every day. That's why you start to trust people more by what they do every day, and what you're going to get out of Coach. And even when we did fail, and there was a lot of not necessarily fail. Even when we did come up short, there was always something that he could teach us about that at that moment. And we were when one day film room hit, we were back, and we literally we'd watch the film and then we'd forget about it and go to the next game and stuff. So with him, it's just kind of being able to have a coach that's so even keeled all the time is really helpful for us, just because sometimes you need that coach, that leader to, look to, and okay, what you're going to get out of himself. So that's what we're trying to get out of all our players, is being that consistent person on and off the field, and being that man that man that what you're going to get out of him. That's something that team mentality that we want to have going into this next season.
I want to go back to the start. How did you first get into football? What was the beginning of your football journey?
So my dad really he wanted me to be a football player. He really wanted me to be an athlete, but for a long time I kind of just gravitated towards it because I was always a physical kid. I know I was playing basketball and flag football and everything else, but even the flag football, I was 7, 8 years old tackling kids, and so he was like, okay, it's time to get me into real football. And as soon as I touched a helmet and pads, I loved. I could tell I just had a natural knack for the game and catching and running and playing quarterback. Everything was just, and that kind of created that was one of the big like bonding moments I had with my dad. And we were just out in the front throwing the ball around, and got to a point where I didn't even need him no more. I just take my football and act like I was different NFL running backs back in the day in the backyard, and like act like I was going on 70-yard touchdowns in a driveway and stuff. So it was. That's something that I kind of just got gravitated towards a long time. The Lord kind of put that vision on my heart and want to be a football player and play this game for as long as I can. And that's just something that I fell in love doing. And it's not who I am, but it's something I love doing. And it's something I want to do for a long time.
Do you remember your first touchdown as a kid?
Yeah, it was actually the first time I ever touched a ball. It was in flag football.
Wow.
It was a kick return, and I took it like 90-some yards. And my dad was like, okay, he's gonna play football. My first time actually playing a tackle football, it was just kind of just like 3 touchdowns. If I didn't have 3 touchdowns a game, I was getting mad, and so it was like one of those things that I just had a natural knack for as a kid. And it was fun back in the day, just putting on some cleats and no worries in the world, just having juice box and crackers after. That was the best.
So, obviously basketball is like one of the most popular sports amongst, tribal communities. But football it seems like it's growing in popularity. From your experience, how does football kind of compare and stack up, to basketball in that respect?
So not a whole lot of natives play it. We're mostly basketball or basketball people. But I have been getting reached out to more younger athletes through DMs or Twitter or Instagram, talking about how, they're kind of watching my journey as a football player, because they're like, man, that's cool. You see a native out there playing at, Division I level. And, they text me, hope to see you in the pros one day. And they want to see that because you don't really see it too often. And it doesn't obviously stack up to basketball, but it's just that competition that they love to see, and seeing that excellence that Native American excellence out on the field, or just a high stage, and just being able to, make my people proud. And I got my flag. I even got my flag up there right now. So just kind of carrying it with me wherever I go, and making sure people know that, natives can play this game too and stuff. So it's obviously something I want to be a forefronter for. Obviously, we had Jim Thorpe, but he was like 100 years ago. So we wanted to, I want to, hopefully leave a print on his game like he did, or somewhere near it. But I definitely want to get to that level of success, or just strive for it every day.
Kind of speaking of that flag, I believe one of the kind of the cooler moments, and kind of the more detail oriented team. Obviously, ASU has a great equipment squad, but I first took notice at the Washington game, saw the back of your helmet had the Nez Perce flag there as well. How cool is that? Just can be part of a program that maybe small in terms of just the stature of just like a sticker on the back of the helmet, but just helping guys along and kind of repping the community like that.
Yeah, so that came from. He's not here anymore. He's actually at my old school, Small World. He's at Idaho State now as the head equipment manager. That came from my dog Ryan, man. He was also Native American. He was a Native American equipment manager and stuff. So we talked about it for a long time. I think I brought it up or something about possibly having like a sticker back there, kind of as a joke, and kind of looked at me. He was like, no, we could do that. And I was like, for real? Yeah, I'll make it work. Let me see what I can do. Came back. That was like in the springtime or summertime, and then come like three months later, I come on my helmet. He said, "I want you to look at your helmet." It had the sticker on it and stuff. So I don't know how he managed to do it or how he got that allowed, but it was awesome to see that, and something I'm gonna do every game this year, and really kind of let it be known and everything stuff. So that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, that was really, really cool moment there. So, awesome to see that. You mentioned just you're getting a lot of folks kind of reaching out to you in terms of that. How much like added motivation, on top of everything else that drives you, is that just how open to be an example? You mentioned maybe that the modern day Jim Thorpe in terms of being a positive example and showing others that it can be done.
Yeah. So I guess I be careful with that statement. Obviously with Jim Thorpe, he was such a something that I had a picture of him on my wall, but just any athletes really know. There were so many great athletes, even in my community. Littlefoot Ellenwood, he was such a great basketball player. My dad was an awesome basketball player, an athlete, football growing up. Billy Mills, won the 5,000 meter back in 1964 in the Tokyo Olympics as a Native American. So there's so many athletes out there that we may just not have had the platform to have gotten to get to this level. And I was blessed enough to be able to, the Lord brought me through so much to get here. I don't want to say, I'm this some type of this super bright light that everybody. No, there's been so many other athletes that may just have not gotten that opportunity or the right people around them at that time to get to this level. And I got a lot of cousins, Titus Year out, that's playing for the Idaho men's basketball team out of town where they play 6-man football and stuff. So he's there's so many other athletes out there that I could name and stuff. So, but we're such a tight knit community and everything that I just want to rep them as best as possible and be one of those athletes. I'm just one of many great athletes that can come out of the reservation and come from a small tribe. And everything and stuff. So that's something that, great motivation that the Lord's allowed me to be, and Lord's blessed me enough just to be at this level, and I'm not taking that for granted.
You mentioned, of course, that your success on the field was instantaneous. So you're taking that first kickoff and scoring and then having, touchdowns filled games. When did you know that your abilities in football could, take you places, to free ride and play major college football and perhaps beyond?
Man, I really don't know. That's just something I always say, that I know the Lord just had to put that on my heart when I was a kid. Because even when I was like 8 or 9, I always said I was going to play in the NFL. And then they started getting really serious in middle school. I told my middle school, like, those days in middle school where they ask you what you want to be, what you want to do when you grow up. I just said NFL football player. Now, I remember my 8th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Allen. I didn't forget this. I told him I wanted to play NFL. And then he was just kind of like, they love to throw out the stats. Only like 0.2% of all. Da, 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 da. I was like, okay, cool. I'm that 0.2%. And I remember I was like 12 or 13 years old. I had no idea what I was talking about, but I just was like really overly like confident. You can call it arrogant or kind of delusional, but sometimes you do need to be delusional to get to a spot that nobody's been and stuff. So that's just something I wanted to do when I was young. And in high school, I started writing it down more, speaking it. I learned about speaking it into existence. And, my career has been up and down in terms of like in high school, I didn't come from the biggest high school, kind of had to go to, I got my first offer, or I got to Idaho State by my dad emailing the head coach. And so it's always been kind of like the underdog story, just having to get it out, the mud and stuff, just really having to earn it. But if you keep knocking and keep asking, it'll come if you keep pursuing it and stuff. So that's just kind of the mentality I've had for a long time. My parents gave me, and just not to give up. And usually things work out for those people that don't give up.
Obviously, your dad was such a driving force in your life and getting to where you are today. What are the kind of the key lessons that you learned from him, and kind of the ways that you embody those in his memory?
So I have a recording that I recorded about 4 years ago. I don't know what, came over me to want to record it. Just he had so many wise words. I felt like I just needed to save it from. And I remember one night I was stressed out about, not having like scholarships or something like that. And then I remember he told me just like how he always reminded me that we're a family of faith, but he always said to keep the Lord first and have fun with it. Don't let it get to a point where you're putting football before your faith or your family and making it such a job. And I feel like last year or the years prior in college, I let the game get too business type, just having fun with it again. The best players that you've seen in this game are always the ones that are having the most fun, that enjoy this game and stuff. So that's just something that you have to kind of remind yourself and have that kid-like confidence again. And just like me throwing the ball with my dad in the front yard when I was little, just going back to that, and letting that kid in you again go out on that field and play, and remembering that the times that you prayed for this moment, you're actually living and stuff. So being thankful for that, and that's just something he's always taught me, is just being where my feet are at. And obviously, it's been over 3.5 years without him, so you kind of having to, go back in your memory and really replay those kind of talks again. And growing, I'm 22 right now, so kind of just growing as a man on and off the field. It was tough for the past 3 years. I had a lot of, mental, emotional, spiritual battles that I had to get through while playing this game. But this is something that the Lord's really brought me through to a point where I feel like I can go out there with supreme confidence and joy again, and it just kind of radiate that to other teammates and stuff, and being kind of a light out there for other people too, stuff. So it's something that my dad instilled in me at a young age that I might not have gotten when I was younger, but I'm glad he kind of repeated those talks to me over and over and over again, so I could remember him for now. So for these moments as I'm growing as a man.
Really awesome perspective, and as you mentioned earlier, that football is not who you are, but it's something that you love to do, and just armed with that approach. And outside of the game of football, what are some of the goals that you have for life? I believe you're interested in broadcasting. What are some other things that kind of make up your goals? Outside of football.
Yeah, so I love. Obviously, I love to mentor and coach, and that's something I think I could do at a level. Even Coach Samples, our old receiver coach, I brought that up to him. He said, "You would make a great receiver coach," and something just to impact others. And obviously, I would like to get into the ministry. But yeah, broadcasting would be awesome. I feel like that's something I really would want to do. I always grew up watching that NFL Network stuff, and that always kind of just looked fun to me. Just talking shop with your coworkers about whatever game days. That's just something I really want to do. So I kind of want to be a utility man, be able to do a lot of things. But it's, at the end of the day, it's wherever the Lord wants to bring me. I got ideas of what I want to do, but it's just something that I would have to pursue whenever football is over for me.
So throughout your career at Idaho State and now your first year at ASU, the team win-loss records weren't exactly where I'm sure you wanted it to be. How do you keep the positive mindset through some team struggles like that, and just how hungry are you for this this season with the Sun Devils to be a big turnaround in that respect?
Yeah, like I said, it's just keeping the main thing, man. And I know that gets repetitive, it gets redundant, but you really have to just keep pushing on. Just like anything throughout my life, like it's not gonna go your way. Like I know everybody wants to, fans, everybody wants to see a win, but sometimes you need to build a foundation before you start building a house. And I feel like we did that this past season, and we got the right guys in, got the wrong guys out, and we got guys who want to be here and play for each other. And I feel like that's the mentality Coach Dillingham and has established. And I feel like that's something that we're going to build on. You guys are going to reap the fruit of our labors this season and seasons after that, because we got younger guys that are taking up leadership roles on this team. And that's just something I'm excited to see for the growth of ASU, and the mentality of getting rid of that kind of me mentality and getting that team mentality back established here at ASU, which is going to take time. And we're gonna need help. Can't just be all Coach Dillingham. He's got his great staff around him, and it's gonna take the players because we're the ones out there playing and practicing and stuff. So we're gonna have to guys step up. Got a lot of leaders on this team that can step up, and different leadership styles. You don't have to be just the rah guy all the time. You can pull a guy to the side and let him, coach him up. Be a teammate, but also be a friend. Be a good person, and just let them know if they slipping up, do something right, taking people under your wing if you see them slipping up stuff. So I'm excited just to see it this year and finally be able to get a lot of wins this year.
One of the silver linings of perhaps your comeback from the injury, Elijah making his way back, was a lot of the younger guys in spring, younger receivers got a lot of reps. Who kind of jumped out in your eye, and who did you think had a good spring?
A lot of our walk-ons, man. Like, that's why I always loved walk-ons growing up, because they always worked the hardest, and they had such great mentalities going. Derek, and when he was here, JD, Joe Duche, and just the guys that didn't get a whole lot of reps last year. Corbin, came on towards the end of spring, and then KB. Those guys showed a lot of things in one-on-ones and showed kind of flashes and team reps and stuff. So they were just the young guys really stepping up and getting that confidence back from when they were getting recruited and stuff, and now knowing that they can play at this game, do a lot of things at a high level. And it's just cool seeing it firsthand. Like, okay, the mistakes that they may have been making the first year, they aren't making anymore, and it's kind of a satisfying thing to see. Like, okay, these guys are learning; they're going to be really good, hopefully better, and have a better career than all of us older guys. And it's just something that our receiver room really wants to see, and for the young guys to have success. And because we're working with those guys, we know those guys. And what they've been through, what they want to do with their lives, and it's something we're all rooting for each other for.
Some fans might see the departure of a guy like Elijah Badger and think the receiver room might be in trouble a little bit, but as someone who was at each and every practice, seems like that the receiver is actually one of the deeper areas on this team, with yourself coming back, Troy, Melquan, Jordan, of course, adding guy like Malik to the mix as well in the recent transfer portal window. Kind of top to bottom, how dangerous do you think this group of Sun Devil wide receivers can be in 2024?
Yeah, it's been the same. It's been the same guys, man. It's just sometimes, we know each other now. We didn't bring in a whole lot of guys besides our latest transfer, but we know what we can do individually. But it's kind of just like, okay, how do we kind of mesh together as a unit, and which guys are going to go out there and really put the team first. Like I said, blocking. And then how are guys gonna, catch the ball? Who's gonna be the most consistent receivers out there? And we need guys out there that you can trust. And I feel like we got a lot of guys like that, like you listed. Troy, JT, Melquan, Jake Smith, a lot of older guys that proven to be reliable on. And so we just need more guys. We just got to keep showcasing that. And then when Saturdays come, showcase it, all the work that you put in. So show that we can do it. So now it's time to, when the lights come on, to do it on the big stage. So I'm excited for this group, and it's going to be an explosive group, and a lot for the fans to be excited about.
What are you looking forward to most about the move to the Big 12?
Just playing new teams. I never thought I would end up playing like UCF or Cincinnati. Like, it's not something but it's just kind of like, when you're on a game, you just you click your team, but then you click random opponent. It just kind of feels like that. You're just playing a random team. Like, our first 3 games are Wyoming, Texas State, and Mississippi State. It's just like it's fun. Like, you're playing just a new teams that I didn't grow up watching, and so it's just gonna it feels like AAU football again. You're just playing random teams, and it's gonna be fun just to playing SEC. Big 12 schools, all the way down to the Sun Belt or whatever. It's just going to be different environment, but I'm excited to go see that.
What do you want to accomplish this year as a Sun Devil?
Just win a lot of games, and I just want to win, man, and just obviously, beat Arizona. That'll be awesome. Get the postseason, get into those, playing all the way into late November, December. That's something I want to do, and for my career, and having something to Christmas break, Thanksgiving can wait. Let's go play some more ball. So that's something I really want to do for our team. Play well and put up some plays that makes it for the fans and for my family and everything, but mostly just for myself, getting that joy back, and for my teammates and everything. It's gonna be a fun season, especially going into my last senior season. It's just something I'm just gonna take a deep breath out there and just go play and just have fun and just be me out there.
I'd like to thank Xavier for taking the time to talk with me for this episode. Make sure you are subscribed to Speak of the Devils on the podcast platform of your choice for more great episodes all off season long, including some great recent episodes with Doug Tamaro, Sean Na'a, Tate Romney, DeCarlos Brooks, Marcus Arroyo, and an upcoming series with the rest of the Sun Nova coaching staff. And make sure that you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at bdenny29.